Hello everybody, GL1 here. Welcome to my online toy museum. Today, I'm going to talk about Superman. And I know it's been a couple of weeks and you guys have been wondering what's going on with GL1. Well, eventually you will find out. I'm building more and more Hogwarts castles, and I will bring that to your attention if you're interested, but it gets really awesome. So, all right, here we have Superman. Now, got this Superman because I was able to get it on sale. And, I've always wondered, why would Superman need armor? I mean, what really substance could be as strong as Superman himself? Well, reading this comic book helped illuminate me on why that is. So this comes with the action figure along with your card describing Superman, and comes with the stand, the little black round stands. But all right, so the comic book explains that something's going on in the Phantom Zone. So this Phantom Zone, which is where the Kryptonians banish bad people to, is apparently as large as our universe. I didn't know that, but all right, that makes sense. It's another dimension. And this guy here, General Zod, all right, who was defeated and sent to the Phantom Zone, and it looks like he's dead. So when they show him in the comic book, it looks like he's some kind of like zombie phantom. He's in the Phantom Zone, and he starts whining to Superman that something bad is going on there. They need help. So Superman, he's a worrywart, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go there and take care of this, but my body won't actually be in the Phantom Zone in the same way, so I'm going to I won't be able to use my superpowers because there's no yellow sun. So I'm going to have to wear an armor, and that'll make me stronger. Now, the armor that he's wearing in this comic book is what you see here, all right? So there's going to be 4 issues, and I guess you have to collect the other action figures to get that. So, but you could see in this figure here that, that armor is underneath, and I guess at some point in the comic books he's going to get this armor too. So, all right, so I wanted, here we are at the level of talking about the toy. So if we evaluate the toy, here's what we have. A pretty neat looking armor, right? You got your crotch armor, got to protect the crotch. In case somebody tries to hit you in the hip, you got your hip armor. You got your knees and your shins, big old giant spiky boots, and then a spiky shin. And look at that, you got your, sort of like a meat tenderizer puncher, right? And then little knobs on it in case, I guess, you want to whack somebody with a knob. And if that's not enough, you got little pointy things, and you can, hit them with pointy things and knobby things. And then on your other arm, I guess handedness even matters with Superman, right? So his right, I guess he's right-handed, and that's his thunder punching. And then the other hand, his left one, is more stabby, But, I really think on a super being like Superman, I don't think he would have a handedness, I think both hands would probably be just as awesome. But all right, so he's got like this football player armor, and he's got a face guard, but doesn't seem to have to care about his head. I don't know, worries about his shoulders, but not his head. But he worries about maybe he needs to breathe, something with the breathing. I don't know, but that's that. All right, so this armor comes off. This part comes off easily. One thing that's kind of a neat detail is you have actually a ball joint for this shoulder armor here. See? So you can move that all around. And if you look at them, they're creature faces, right? So look, you got this critter here with spiky head, and then this one over here. Look, it looks like he's sticking his tongue out. Take that. All right, so you got that. And then we look at the back, of course, you can, he's got the nice flowing cape, and he's got the torso joint there. He's got double knees, and these come off easily. They just unbuckle, okay? And so there you have your double knee, and you have your ankle that moves all around, all right, and move his head all around. But now you have this face mask thing, and you're like, well, how does that come off? Well, it looks to me like what you have to do, I mean, what I did is took the head off, and it looks like that's what you have to do each time. So you can take that off. Oh, yeah, it even has this shoulder. Look, that shoulder joint that you get with these McFarlane figures. This is made by McFarlane. So you pull that off, and there you go. And then that comes off like that. I actually didn't have it completely on all the way, so that's why it came off so easily. All right, so here you go. There's your mouth thing. All right, so maybe you wonder, well, if you have several Superman action figures, does it fit on other Superman action figures? So we have this one here. I like this Superman. This is the bearded Superman, right? I think he looks cool. I think his legs are maybe a touch too small for his torso. McFarlane does not seem to be very good at making arms, big muscular arms, but they just make big figures. So, all right, so here we go. We have Superman now. If we compare the height of these two figures, okay, we can go back to back, and you can see that the new Superman figure is definitely taller because the neck, the foot to the neck, is just as tall. So, add the head, and it's going to be taller. But how will the armor fit? So, all right, so we can put this head back on. And just kind of have to take that and kind of turn it there, and then it pops on. All right, and he does have the gigantic chin and the gigantic cheekbones, but that is exceeded by another Superman figure with even bigger cheekbones. All right, so if we take this shin thing and we say, well, how is that going to look on this Superman? Well, you decide. All right, so unfortunately, the Superman has tiny feet, so it doesn't really work there. How about and it slides a lot, okay? How about the armor, the chest armor? Put that on, and, well, it's a little too big for him, right? Kind of swimming in him, kind of rocks too much. All right, so that doesn't work. Well, what about this? Can we do anything with this? Yes, actually. You can turn it upside down, and there. All right. Maybe he's a chef. Maybe he's a king. I don't know. You decide what you think he looks like. I think it looks good and silly at the same time. And you can even put this on this Superman. There you go. Now he has a helmet. All right, there you go. King Superman. All right. You can just squash that on there. All right. And maybe, let's see if we can turn it upside down. No, not really. Okay, it'll just go one way. All right. Well, let's take our movie Superman, Justice League Superman. All right, this is a big action figure. So let me show you here. If you compare this one to our newest one, okay, so they're about the same height, just slightly shorter, actually, but about the same height. And you can see he's got big arms. I mean, look at the arms on this Superman. Not a lot of detail like some figures like He-Man, but they're at least large. All right, so if we take that shin thing and put it on, how's that look? And I know you know already. Oh, it's upside down. It's too big for the shoe, right? So again, it doesn't work. I mean, if we look at Superman's shoes here, right, it's hugely different. All right, so that's not going to work. But how about the armor? Okay, how's the armor? Well, his shoulder width, I think, is the problem here. I mean, this kind of fits a little bit better, but the shoulder armor, it's a little bit too wide for his shoulders. So there's the problem there. And again, can we do anything with this here? Turn that like that. And sure. All right, there you go. Once again. All right, Chef Superman. All right. And let's take off one of his punchers. You can't use the crotch thingy with another figure because it inserts in here. So it'll just fall off. I mean, unless you use something like rubber band or whatever, one of those clear plastic bands, it's not going to stay on. All right, but can we use the punchy thing? All right, so the meat tenderizer, well, he doesn't have a fist, so that's maybe one problem. But if we can get that in there and then kind of get an idea. All right, so it slides around too much. Okay, so that doesn't really work either. All right, well, let's try one more Superman. All right, this is our big, giant, bloated, I ate a lot of carbs Superman. I mean, this Superman here was just stuffing himself with pasta bowl after pasta bowl and drinking a lot of water because he knows that your body stores 4 grams of water for every gram of carbohydrate. So he is totally pumped up. He's ready to do some serious lifting. He has tons of energy. I mean, look at those lats. His lats are so expanded. He's just huge. And look at the jaw. This guy, has been taking growth hormone and all kinds of things to get a jaw like that. I mean, it's just extreme. Now, if we compare that to this Superman, he doesn't have the gigantic forward part of the chin here, right? He doesn't have the chin like that, but the jawbone is, I don't know, I think it's proportionally a little bit bigger. But all right, so here's our big bloated Superman, which I love. This is the gigantically powerful Superman. But, he got so massive and heavy that the weight, I guess, shrunk him. Because, okay, he's about, 4 inches, I would say, if it was real, shorter. But look at the massiveness of his chest and his arms. I mean, this is Superman. How will he fit in the armor? Well, let's see. This barely fits him. Why? Because his lats are so gigantic. And those are the muscles under here. They're just so gigantic. But it's not bad, right? All right. Can we do anything with the puncher? All right. So here we go. Superman is getting ready to tenderize some meat. And I think we know what that means. He's ready to give somebody what fur. He's going to be punching them. And only the way Superman can. Let's get this in there. All right, and, if we can button this around here. All right, so that works. All right, so he can do that, and he can do that. And let's see, if we put the shin armor on, this foot's a little bit bigger than the other two. So put that on, get an idea of how this might look. All right, there we go, shin guard. Not that bad, right? Not that bad. I mean, you can buckle that in the back. I don't know, maybe his calves are so... You know what? You can't. Look at those big, massive calves. So he's been doing a lot of calf raises with a lot of weight. So you can just stick it on, but you can't buckle it. All right, and let's see. Here we go. Our Superman crown, is it going to fit? And yes, it does. So you can stick that on, and there you go. All right. Well, this is all right, so this is maybe an acceptable modification, right? But I think what's kind of cool is, here's our Superman. You could take all his armor off, as you can see. And there you go. And you have yourself a big, mighty Superman. You can take this off, of course, if you want, and this. But, kind of an older looking, more mature looking Superman. He's seen some stuff, different than the one in the picture here, I think. I think that, this looks like a younger guy than the action figure, right? So, all right, well, it is what it is. All right, well, let's open up Zod, because this fella has been sitting in the box for months, and what better time to open up Zod than when you're talking about Superman? Right. So, I think this Zod is such a cool looking figure. And it's a shame he's a bad guy, because because he looks really cool, you know. But well, you know, that's the way it is. All right, there we got that. Let's see if we can get him out. That was all right. That wasn't too bad. Just pull him through there. So with Zod, you got all these extra hands. All right, and then you got your stand and you got your Zod card. All right, so here is Zod. All right. I don't know. He looks okay. Who does he look like? Batista? Dave Batista a little bit, maybe, with a beard. You know, but all right. Maybe Sean Connery a little bit, a younger Sean Connery. All right, so here is Zod, and we got the double knees, you know, like all McFarlane. And then you got, you know, the I have power hand. And then the here, let me have that. Give me the remote. Let me have the remote. Look, I got my thumb ready to push down the clicker. So, you know, let's watch what I want to watch for a change. Maybe that's what he's saying. All right, so he has some armor too. You know, maybe because he didn't realize how powerful he is already if he comes to Earth, that he probably doesn't really need armor. But maybe, you know, he's a general, and then over there on Krypton, you know, they're all the same strength, and which, you know, maybe they're just not that strong and they need armor. All right, well, let's compare this to our new Superman. Let's compare their height, and oof, boy. Wow. All right. Well, he's taller than me in proportion, I'm sure, but looks like Superman's going to clean his clock. Let's see how he compares to our itty-bitty Superman, this fella here. All right, so bend that foot there. All right, so those two are about the same size, so this might be a good matchup, right? I mean, if you do it that way, you're like, well, you know, it might be a little bit rough for Superman. They actually look like brothers. And let's see how he compares to gigantic swole Superman. Let's take off his armor. Because this guy, Phantom Zone or not, I don't think this guy needs any kind of armor. I mean, this is just a swole Superman. So we take him there. And all right, so swole Superman is a little bit taller, right? Maybe a couple inches. But as you can see, they cannot share the same wardrobe at all. So, all right. Well, that's what we have here. Last comparison, movie Superman, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He looks like he's like on an 8-inch scale, not even the same scale. But, all right. That's what we got for our Superman review. I think he's pretty cool. You know, he's $25. If you can get him for a little bit less, you know, if you got your GameStop discount, you can get it for $20, you know, 19 something actually. And it makes for a pretty cool Superman action figure. I thought I was done with Superman after I got this one, but dang it if they can't come up with something else worth getting, right? Just kind of a cool armored Superman, you know. And I got to say, the comic, I normally don't really care about reading comics, but man, that story, it got me, it sucked me in. I definitely would want to know what's going to happen next. So I will talk to you soon. Take care.